You know, I usually stay out of these conversations, but with Caitlin Clark, I can't stay silent anymore.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Clark Update. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Today, I've got another exciting and fascinating video for you, and if you're a true Caitlin Clark fan, you're definitely going to want to watch this one all the way to the end. Before we begin, let me know you're part of the Clark Update Army by commenting CC 100% below. I always love seeing all the incredible Clark fans in the comments. Now, without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into today's video. Michael Jordan didn't simply step up to the microphone, he completely took control of the moment. What began as a simple tribute quickly turned into one of the most memorable statements in modern basketball history. Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark were not just honored, they were genuinely stunned. If you enjoy this content, consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 90% of viewers still aren't subscribed. It's completely free and takes only a second, but it means so much to us. So, have you subscribed already? Great. Thank you for all your support. Now, let's get back to the video. Jordan spoke about their influence in a calm and direct voice, saying something that nobody expected. This wasn't about past accomplishments. It was about who is carrying the game today and who represents its future. So, what exactly did he say? Buckle up, because this moment was far more powerful than simple applause. Michael Jordan rarely speaks publicly about women's basketball, but this time, he mentioned their names. His words are usually measured, reserved, and saved for moments that truly matter, especially when he's away from the court. That's why the impact was immediate when he recently made an honest comment about Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark without a script or a spotlight. He quietly recognized two women who are redefining excellence in today's game without needing a major stage or press conference. It wasn't just the fact that he spoke that made the moment special. It was what he said. Caitlin Clark's name is already known around the world. Her rookie season has broken long-standing WNBA records, attendance has increased, and television ratings have soared. But Jordan looked beyond all of that. He saw something deeper and described a style of play that you don't simply teach, you recognize when you see it. He said he wasn't particularly focused on her shot selection or statistics. What stood out to him was her presence and the way she controls the situation. Some players need time to adjust to the spotlight, but she seemed to be on fire from the moment she stepped into it. For years, Clark's game has been compared to some of the greatest players in basketball, both men and women. Her incredible court vision and unlimited shooting range have made her a fan favorite. But Jordan's comments offered a different kind of validation. It wasn't a comparison, it was recognition. In his view, she wasn't simply the future of women's basketball, she was already the present. Then, almost without warning, he shifted his attention to Sophie Cunningham. Jordan made it clear that even if Sophie doesn't receive the same level of media attention, her impact is just as meaningful. He described her as a storm in sneakers, a player who changes the energy of a game every time she steps onto the court rather than chasing the spotlight. He highlighted her toughness, her refusal to back down, and her willingness to embrace roles that many players might hesitate to take on. He said, "She plays like it's personal." And that's what separates true competitors from ordinary rivals in this game. Coming from someone like Jordan, whose legacy was built on turning competition into an obsession, those words meant far more than simple praise. Sophie wasn't being recognized for her popularity or media attention. She was being recognized for the fire behind every screen, rebound, and defensive stop. This wasn't a publicity stunt. It wasn't about promoting a campaign or building a brand, it was an authentic moment from a legend who has seen the game from nearly every angle. Jordan saw more than talent in Clark and Cunningham. He saw a sign that the future of basketball isn't far away, it's already here. With just a few carefully chosen words, Jordan cut through years of discussions about women's visibility in sports. Without a massive endorsement campaign or a major media event, he accomplished what countless promotional efforts often fail to achieve. When a voice like his speaks, the entire basketball world pays attention, no matter how quietly he delivers the message. So, was Jordan's unexpected recognition simply encouragement, or was it the beginning of something much bigger? Stay tuned, because what happened next surprised everyone. When greatness recognizes greatness, legends take notice. Larry Bird, a man who rarely gives public praise without a reason, offered one of the most surprising and insightful reactions. Bird, known for his quiet personality and sharp understanding of genuine talent, didn't simply mention Clark. He spoke about her in the same breath as the basketball that shaped his own early career. Bird casually admitted that he watched more Iowa Hawkeyes games than he expected to during the 2023-23 season, drawing comparisons between Caitlin Clark's style of play and his own days at Indiana State. That wasn't simply nostalgia. It was admiration from a player whose legacy was built on precision, determination, and extraordinary basketball intelligence. With a simple but powerful acknowledgement, Bird delivered a clear message. Clark wasn't just dominating women's college basketball, she was helping redefine the sport itself. But Bird wasn't alone. Another towering figure, both literally and figuratively, soon joined the growing chorus. Long known for his support of LSU and Angel Reese, Shaquille O'Neal offered an unexpected change in perspective. Shaq, who was initially seen as someone supporting Clark's biggest rival, surprised viewers during a broadcast when he paused to acknowledge what many had already suspected. He'd become a fan of Caitlin Clark. He wasn't speaking as a critic or an analyst, he was speaking as a genuine fan. "I'm not Shaq right now. I'm a fan." That simple statement set the tone for everything that followed. He admitted that he didn't believe Clark's television presence could fully capture what she accomplishes on the court. After watching her himself, however, there was little left to debate: her leadership, her vision, and her decision-making. She wasn't simply putting up impressive numbers, she was consistently making the right plays. Hearing that from one of the most dominant players in NBA history, someone who played center, used his physical presence to dominate opponents, and won 4 championships, was more than confirmation. He was a powerful revelation. But what makes this moment even more significant is that it's not happening in isolation. At the same time, Sophie Cunningham is receiving recognition for something equally important, even if it's less glamorous: toughness, hustle, and consistency. While Clark's brilliance often steals the spotlight, Sophie's determination continues to earn respect behind the scenes. Jordan recognized that toughness, and Bird and Shaq understand it from their own experiences. As these two women carve out very different but complementary paths in the league, some of the most recognizable figures in sports are being forced to reconsider what excellence looks like in the modern era. That kind of recognition carries even more weight when it comes from legends who understand exactly what it takes to lead a team or even influence an entire league. And as the spotlight grew brighter, was the real story about the plays themselves, or about the people who stepped up when it mattered most? Don't blink, because everything is about to change. Why Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark have become favorites among basketball legends. Conversations are changing across arenas, and it's not simply because of the hype. It's because Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark are bringing something different to the basketball world. Two women with completely different styles are redefining what it means to lead, compete, and elevate an entire league. Clark brings explosive transition play, creativity, and incredible shooting range. Sophie brings veteran toughness, grit, and physical intensity. Despite their differences, basketball legends are drawn to them for reasons that go beyond statistics. There's substance behind their games. Tyrese Halliburton sees it. The Indiana Pacers guard, who understands what it means to carry the hopes of an entire city, views Caitlin as a peer rather than simply a fan. He expressed his admiration by saying, "Just 2-point guards trying to lead." It wasn't an empty gesture. He recognizes the pressure she carries in Indiana, attends her games, and openly supports her. Her arrival created a new buzz around a franchise that was still in the process of rebuilding. He respected more than just her abilities, he understood the pressure she was carrying. Across generations, that's what true leadership looks like. But this influence extends far beyond teammates and supporters. It is also affecting free agency. According to sports analyst Jason Whitlock, players want to play alongside Caitlin Clark. That single statement cuts through all the noise. In a league where chemistry matters and rosters are constantly changing, Clark has become the attraction. These days, it's not simply about market size or marketing budgets, it's about culture. Players want leadership, discipline, and trust, and Clark brings all three. But Clark isn't the only one attracting attention. After being traded to Indiana in 2025, Sophie Cunningham arrived with a different purpose. She came to change the team's energy. If Clark is the face of the future, Sophie is the force behind it. Her journey from Columbia to Phoenix and now Indiana has never been about flash. It has always been about strength. She may not score 30 points every night, but she knows how to rally a locker room, take a charge, and knock down a clutch three. Her energy is contagious, and her defense can be relentless. During a heated game in June, Sophie also rushed across the court to defend Clark after a hard foul. She didn't hesitate, and she didn't apologize. That moment wasn't really about drama. It was about sending a message. Cunningham was protecting more than just a teammate. In Indiana, she was standing for a new culture built on loyalty, courage, and solidarity. Her impact can be felt in every possession of a Fever game, even if the stat sheet doesn't always show her true value. She's a player diving for loose balls, calling out defensive rotations, and shifting momentum without needing her name in the spotlight. Legends are paying attention because of this. They're not simply supporting WNBA players. They're recognizing something deeper, which is why they continue to praise Clark and Cunningham: pure determination, genuine toughness, and a style of leadership that holds up under pressure. This isn't just a temporary moment. It's becoming a movement, one defined not only by who scores the most points, but by who earns respect when it matters most. Now let's look at the defining moments of Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. For Caitlin Clark, one of those moments came away from the court, in the form of a list that didn't include her name. When the 2024 U.S. Olympic team was announced and Clark was left off the roster, the silence that followed spoke louder than any official statement. This was the player who had electrified college arenas, shattered viewing records, and helped push women's basketball into the mainstream conversation. Yet she was left off the biggest stage in international sports. The disappointment was obvious among fans, but Caitlin didn't add fuel to the controversy. She didn't complain, she worked. That omission, whether intentional or not, gave Clark something rare: space. Away from the noise of Olympic coverage and the demands of a global schedule, she returned to what she knew best: refining her game, training harder, and preparing for what came next. There were no television crews following her into the gym and no breaking reports tracking her every move. There was only sweat, film study, and the quiet rhythm of someone turning uncertainty into motivation. Watching from a distance, Dwight Howard viewed the situation as a challenge, and he never expected Clark to fold under the pressure. Instead, he believed the experience would make her stronger. Meanwhile, criticism was spreading throughout the basketball world. Former NBA guard Jeff Teague didn't hold back, arguing that the WNBA had missed a major opportunity not only by leading Clark off the Olympic roster, but also by failing to fully embrace the impact she was already having. "They played this all wrong," he said. The rising attendance, growing merchandise sales, and increased ticket demand all proved that Clark was more than just a talented rookie. She had become the center of a movement, yet the treatment she received on the court often felt less like a welcome and more like a warning. That behavior also frustrated Hall of Famer Rick Barry, who had witnessed decades of hard fouls and intense physical battles. He suggested that the way defenders were targeting Clark felt personal. Coming from a legend who experienced one of basketball's toughest eras, those words carried significant weight. Still, Clark refused to complain. She absorbed every bump, hard foul, and cold shoulder, choosing to respond through her performance rather than through interviews. A quiet statement was being made through her actions. While Caitlin remained calm in the middle of the storm, Sophie Cunningham became the storm itself. As Indiana struggled with inconsistency early in the season, Sophie refused to ignore the problems. After a frustrating loss in June 2025, she spoke up. With determination in her eyes and confidence in her voice, she challenged the team by asking why they couldn't play with consistency.